We're here in New York City at what is probably the world's most expensive card show. There's literally hundreds of millions of dollars of cards and memorabilia in here, but how on earth do these people afford these type of collections? And what's the best way for people starting from zero to build up to having a high-end collection? I think you'll be surprised by people's answers. Let's get into it. All right, so we're here with Kyle from World Champion Sports Cards, incredible former MLB pitcher and World Series champion.
Yeah.
You have a shop down in Florida. You obviously have an incredible collection.
And one in New York.
And one in New York. I saw that.
One in Queens as well.
I need to check it out.
It's new. It's like 3 months old. So.
I love it. Yeah, I saw the pictures. It looks great.
Yeah.
What has been your journey to getting a collection like this and creating a full-time sports card business?
We started this in, I think, 2019. My college roommate and I started doing breaks, and then COVID really took over, and I was pretty bored.
Yeah.
So I got more in depth in the breaks, and it was funny because one day during the 21 season, we had a game in Miami against the Marlins. I was talking to my roommate, who's my college roommate, business partner. I was like, hey, we should open a shop in West Palm Beach. He's like, why? I was like, dude, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
So that Monday, we had an off day. He booked a flight, met me in Miami. We drove up to West Palm, and we literally looked at, I think, 3 locations that we signed that day.
Wow.
So it was like spur of the moment, let's do it, and we just went straight for it, and then now we're here, and store number 2.
Love it. So I got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
One, how has being a professional athlete helped you with these cards? People always like, oh, do you know who's going to be good, all this kind of stuff. How does it translate? Do you think it helps you?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of funny because like a lot of my teammates kind of got into it. And like I'll show you if you want to show later.
Yeah.
I was just on the phone with him.
Oh, wow. Sold
Quite a bit of collection for him. One of my old teammates, he's very big into this stuff. So I sold JJ McCarthy Pandora Uptown for him and some other stuff. But dude, it's so fun because growing up, a lot of guys weren't really big into cards.
Yeah.
And now it's like with West Palm Beach, we have spring training there. So like, I'm seeing old teammates from the Nationals. They're coming in the store all the time. Like Brady House would come in all the time. He just got called up the other day. Wow. So it's pretty awesome. It's sharing that experience with these guys as well. And it's like, these are my teammates at one point, and now like we're collectors. And you keep that relationship going elsewhere. Yeah, I love it. And last question for you. What is the most expensive card you have with you today? And what's the most expensive card you've ever owned? The most expensive I ever owned, we had a Jordan rookie. It was like 15 grand. Oh, wow. The most expensive that we have left, probably, it's a PSA 8, but it's kind of like a PMG almost. So it's a Shannon Sharp Rubies. It's a super rare card from the, 97? Yeah. It's out of 50, does 4,600. That's pretty unique. You don't see these too often. Yeah, that's big. And then a Knicks fan. Oh, wow. Yeah, Jalen Brunson Tiger Stripe PSA 10. That's a big card. This is a massive card here with the New York market. Team Villanova this year, maybe next year. We'll see what happens. Well, that also speaks to your success that you're having with the business. You told me you sold out of basically everything. There's no more expensive cards to show because those are the biggest ones. Oh, and we have a Jordan auto right here. Oh, there you go. That's pretty cool. You forget you even have a Jordan on. Big time. But yeah, we don't have crazy stuff, but we do a lot of for us, it's like the 100 to 300 margins. Yeah. That's great for us, for our customer base, but it's nice to dabble in the bigger stuff too. That's good advice actually, because this video is about people who are kind of trying to grind their way up. Yeah. And that's what I do. I stay in that range and I have a lot of success. I think a lot of people think you got to come in and only sell $50,000 cards. Yeah. This stuff you could do really well with. I do this I'm not full time because I still play baseball, but I would say full time. And even for me, the big stuff, it's still you get nervous. You're like, is this the right move? Yep. Am I doing this? How am I going to move this? And it's like you said, the entry level. It's you can never go wrong with that stuff. Yep. And not that 100 and 300 is entry level. Yeah. It's still a good margin, but it's a lot easier. You're more comfortable, and it's easier to master. And there's usually a lot more knowledge on these cards as well. Yeah. So they always say too, the bulk, especially in Pokemon, the bulk is where you make your money. 100%. So you can never neglect the smaller stuff. 100%. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, man. That was awesome. It's good seeing you. Stop by the shop, everyone. New York, new shop, just open. Check it out. Thank you. All right, so we're here with Mike from Leahi. Incredible collection. Basically, I'm here today. I want to ask people
there's people out there who are aspiring to have these great sports card collections. How did you get to this point? How are you able to have such an incredible sports card collection?
Patience, persistence, studying. I think those are the most important things. Small wins at a time.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is to be really, really patient with yourself. Don't rush into the card market. You wouldn't do it at any other profession. It should be done the same way here, where you just take your time, get a $10 win before you try to get a $100 win.
100%. That's what I tell people. People want to start out. They don't even know that much about cards. They're like, I'm going to spend $50,000. And at some point, you want to ratchet it up, right? If you want to have these incredible cards. But at the beginning, learn.
Yeah.
I like that. Get your $10 win.
I love it.
And then for sure. All right, a couple other questions. What is the most expensive card you brought with you here today?
The most expensive card, I think it might be a Shohei Ohtani 1/1 rookie card we have. We have his Topps flagship 1/1 Platinum with Mike Trout.
Last two questions. The Ohtani, roughly, what do you think the value is? I think I heard you guys mention it's not for sale today, but...
Yeah, so the Ohtani...
would you mind if we pulled it out super quickly?
We have it tagged for $50,000.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And then, last question. What about in your entire collection that you didn't bring here today? What would you say is the most valuable card that you guys, either you or the company, has?
Yeah, so it's going to be the Ohtani Superfractor. 2018, it's his red jersey variation. It's a 1/1 Superfractor. It's a PSA 10. And it's unique because out of that Topps Chrome product, he has a Sapphire 1/1 Superfractor and he has a Topps Chrome Superfractor of his same white jersey pitching pose. Those are both BGS 9.5. So it's actually the only PSA 10 out there. I think market estimates are all over the place in the card. But when I say small wins can lead to great results, we bought that card a long time ago for under $1,400.
You were telling me that.
Yeah, and that card I think right now on the open market, even conservatively, I think it's a $350,000 to $450,000 card. And I think these wins are achievable for people. Start with a $10 win. Make sure you get the process right. When you've earned that, go out and buy that card. Be patient, but that's what it can lead to.
Yeah. Wow, $1,400 into $350K is crazy.
It's not bad.
And I will say, and you've been more than clear about it. That's one way to do it. It's tough though to choose the right guy. Patience. You guys got lucky. You chose the right guy, but you're patient, and I know you go in and invest in players you believe in.
Exactly.
And when you hold on, it can pay off big time.
Exactly.
Perfect. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, man.
Keep being amazing. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Rob.
It's amazing what you do.
All right, so we're here with Cyrus from Soccer Breakers, one of the craziest soccer collections I've ever seen. Obviously a big face in the soccer world. We're doing a video giving advice to people who are starting out and aspire to have a collection like this one day. What's kind of been your journey to building this business, to having all these incredible cards?
Yeah, I just kind of started as it was obviously a hobby. First time I saw soccer cards, I was blown away. I collected basketball and football, and in 2014, for the first time, Panini came out with World Cup Prism.
Yep.
And when I saw that, I was hooked.
Yeah.
So I just started with that, and I started doing little 3-box breaks, and the idea wasn't even to make money, it was just to get some cards, so I would do breaks and I'd maybe get a couple free cards out of it, and I'd be super excited. And it just kind of blew up from there because not that many people were doing it at the time, and there were lots of soccer fans, and they're like, well, when are you going to do the next one? And, so I just kept kind of building it from there, and it got to where within 2-3 years, I had to make a decision. I was a lawyer for 25 years, and I decided to leave and just do this full time.
So you're full time.
So yeah, about 2019, 2020, I retired from law and just been doing this full time. I started, it was all myself originally. Now we have 10 people working for us all over the globe. So I have a guy in the UK, I have an office on the East Coast. So yeah, but I mean, for people getting started, I would just say, start with what you love, start with what you like. Don't go crazy to start. There are lower price point products and, cards that you can get into, but some people just, they get hooked.
When you left your job as a lawyer in 2019, was that a tough decision, like financially? How did you feel about it? Were you like, this is risky, or?
Basically, I was making more money doing breaks within 3 years than I was as a lawyer.
Yeah.
So financially, it was a no-brainer because either I had to, I was kind of working during the day and then running home and breaking at night.
Yeah.
And I was working like 20-hour days. It was pretty crazy. But no, honestly, it was the easiest decision I ever made. And then when COVID happened, basically all the law stuff kind of shut down.
Yeah.
So all they were doing all day was looking forward to me opening boxes and cards because they're like, you're our only entertainment during the lockdown. So that kind of quadrupled those sales overnight.
Well, I was going to say, I don't want to pry too much, but I can only imagine, whatever you're doing in 2019, if you felt good about it. Now fast forward to 2022 and even now, whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, there were a couple years for anybody who's been in the sports cards industry in general. 2020, 2021, 2022 are the best years ever for anybody. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to happen again because just for several factors, but also it was just kind of a crazy fluke. I mean, how many times you're going to have a global pandemic? That's not going to happen quite often.
And my very last question, I appreciate your time. What's the most expensive card you have with you today, and what's the most expensive card you've ever owned?
The most expensive card I personally ever owned was probably about a $20,000 card.
Okay, nice.
But I've pulled cards for my customers that have sold for a couple over in six figures, and the biggest one was $240,000.
What card was that?
Erling Haaland. It was a PSA 10 numbered to 5.
Wow.
Of course, whoever bought it is not very happy right now because now it probably goes for about 60, 70 grand. Yeah. But at the time, it was crazy.
Sure.
But right now, the most expensive ones we have are probably one of one CR7. We have priced at $15K. That's probably realistically, that's more like a $11,000, $12,000 card. This one here is my personal favorite, even though it's a sticker. But it's a match-worn patch, and you can even see kind of like the scuff marks on the Brazilian stars for Ronaldinho. And he's obviously one of the all-time greats. That's a one-of-one Maradona on-card autograph. That goes for probably about 10, 12 grand.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
The collectors in this video spent years building insane card collections. But what really sets them apart? They found a way to turn their passion into a business. Whether your passion is cards or you've got another hustle, story, or project, turning that into a proper business is key. If you want to run a legitimate business, you need a clean, professional website. That's where the sponsor of today's video comes in, Hostinger. I'm a card guy, not a professional website developer, but with Hostinger's AI website builder, I can build a clean, professional website in minutes. All right, so literally right here, go on, they make it super easy. Me or my business, I want to create a website builder. You can see beginner friendly with AI. It's going to handle most of the work here. Domain name, we'll go trycards.com. That's awesome. That's available. You see you get one free domain. I put in my personal information. Now it's just finishing my domain registration. Should be ready in a few moments. Easy as that. Now I'm just going to let the AI create a whole website for me. Try cards. I tell us about it. I'm a content creator who loves sports cards. Well, I actually cannot believe it's this easy. Just create a website, bam, right there, shop now, try. Wow, look at that, that's really cool.
The great thing about Hostinger is it doesn't just stop there. You can customize your website exactly to your liking with their AI tools. If I want an image of a sports card YouTuber for the website because I don't have any pictures or I just want someone a little better looking than me, all I have to do is type it in and their AI generates the image in an instant. And even if I want to sell some cards, all I have to do is upload a picture and Hostinger's AI recognizes the card and fills out the title and description for me. And you're getting all this for really affordable monthly plans as low as $2.99 a month. Plus, they have 0% transaction fees on all transactions, unlike a lot of other platforms. So make sure to use the link in my description down below or code TRIKE when checking out to get you started over there. Now let's get back to the video. All right, so we're here with Scott from P1 Castle. I was actually here earlier and I saw a casual six-figure deal just happening, just off of a few cards, always doing big time Formula One. This is the guy. I wanted to ask, you obviously have an incredible collection, a ton of great cards. What would be your advice to people who are starting out to aspire to have a collection like this one day?
Sure, so I feel like, if you're just getting into the F1 hobby, you got to kind of pick your favorite drivers, your favorite teams, start small, and then work your way up. Pick a year that you like, and then it all comes back to 2020. When you see the big cards that are selling for 5, 6, even 7 figures, it's all 2020. It's the first year of Topps licensed Formula One cards, so it's going to be one of the all-time sets.
Yeah. And I love what you've done because I think 99.9% of people who get into this, not that you got into this for the money, I know you love F1, but people who do, they want to flip football and baseball and stuff. You've had a massive amount of success because you're in a specific niche and you're connected in that world. How has that experience been versus doing baseball and football and basketball?
Yeah, no, it's true. And, I actually kind of fell into the hobby because I've been a lifelong Formula One fan. And when they came out with the Formula One cards, I was like, oh, what are these? And I realized there's the hobby and everything. And so started getting into, breaking, selling singles. And yeah, there's been a lot of times I played college football. Okay. Folks are like, oh, you should branch out. You should do football. You should do baseball. I was like, listen, Formula One is my passion. It's what I love.
We're giving away some free Formula One Topps Chrome packs. Let's go find some F1 fans and make their day.
And so I focused on that. And I feel like if you can find your niche, even if you're interested in baseball, find your own niche within that, whether it's vintage, certain years, or like certain products, and then really do your research, know your stuff, and get ahead of the game. That's the recipe for success.
I love that. With everyone we've talked to today, they've talked about passion, love. You're not going to make it unless you have that passion and love. If you get into this and you're like, I just give me all the money, even if it's not going to happen, it's just not going to happen. Last two questions. One, what is the most expensive card you have with you today, and is there any way we can see it?
Sure. So the most expensive card we have is a Lewis Hamilton 2020 Dynasty zipper patch, BGS 8.5. This is around $35,000 to $40,000 card.
Wow, that's incredible. And I know you've personally been responsible for some big-time sales. What's the biggest sale you've been a part of that you can share with us?
So the biggest sale that we've been a part of is actually the biggest sale in the Formula One card hobby. Wow. And it's that card right there, the 2020 Superfractor Lewis Hamilton Auto that sold for over $1 million.
Wow, incredible. That's a great card. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate the
awesome.
tips and everything.
Thank you so much. It's not often that I'm talking to people that are taller than me, so it's a different perspective.
There you go.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, so we're here with Jordan from Jordan Sports Cards. Incredible collection, one of the nicest guys in the hobby. Been supporting me for a while. I just wanted to ask, what advice would you give for people who aspire to one day have an incredible collection like you?
I would say find stuff that you like and that you believe in and be patient with it, because a lot of this stuff, like gold kabooms, I just liked the cards prior to them being extremely popular in the hobby.
Yep.
And they weren't nearly as much, and then over time they caught on, and then I was able to make a little bit of money on them and then roll that into the next one. So I would say find a niche, find something that you really enjoy, and just sort of, be patient with those cards, and usually it works out in the long run.
I like that, because to hold on to it too, it has to be something you really believe in. That's what I find. Like, if I don't really love or believe in the card, I'll just sell it, and you can't really get that crazy appreciation. So I love that. Two more questions. One, what is the most expensive card you have with you here today?
Probably the Mahomes White Sparkle Optic PSA 10 rookie.
Do you mind if we pull it out real quick?
No, go for it.
Wow, so an incredible card, $40,000 on this one. Can you tell me about the story of acquiring this card?
I've only had it for about a month.
Oh, wow.
But it has not sold publicly in a PSA 10 since 2020.
Yeah.
So it's a very rare card, top 6, doesn't come up very often. It's just, one of his more sort of desirable ghost rookies that you just don't see.
Nice. And last question before I let you go here. What mistake do you see young investors, people who are just getting into sports cards, making? Like, what's if you could give them one piece of advice, like be careful doing this, what would you say?
I would say be careful investing in players who either have never played or who have never proven much, just trying to flip it, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't pan out, it's tough. But if you invest in Mahomes and Brady and Jordan and LeBron, you don't have to rush to sell the cards. They're going to hold value longer term.
Yeah.
So I'd say just be careful with people who have never played, never done anything. Get stuff that's desirable, that you enjoy, and you'll be better off.
Awesome, I love it. And final, this is the very last question. What would you say is the most expensive card you've ever owned?
I've owned a Jordan 86 Fleer PSA 10 twice, so that would far and away be
Okay. And what are those doing now? What are they roughly worth?
200 more or less, depending on condition.
Yeah. Incredible. Well, thank you so much, dude. Thank you for always being down for the content and everything. All right, so we're here with Tyler, Hot Corner. You have an incredible collection, man. One of the best booths I've seen here.
Thank you.
What was your journey like to build up to having a crazy collection like this?
I grew up collecting. My brothers did it, and I just kind of I was always kind of doing what they did. But I wasn't until like late in high school and college I started doing it and actually seeing that there's some room for actually making money in this. And after college, the whole boom happened, and I was just not in the right place at the right time. But I followed what I enjoyed doing, and it took me to where I'm at now. So.
Wow, that's incredible. What advice would you give out for a younger collector or someone who's just kind of getting into it, who aspires to build something like this one day?
Don't buy what everyone else wants. Buy what you think is cool, because someone else thinks it's cool too, and there's room for that, So.
love it. Last two questions. One, what's the most expensive card you have here with you today?
The PSA 10 Jordan Flair.
Do you mind if we just see it real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wow. PSA 10 Jordan rookie. This is the grail of grails. Like when people think about the hobby, what you're looking for, this is insane. What's the current market value on this roughly?
Roughly 200.
Wow, that's insane. And what's the most expensive card you've ever owned?
I've had a handful of these. I've had one that was like a much nicer copy. That was probably the nicest card I've owned.
Wow. Insane, man. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we're here with Ryan from Card Collector 2. Great content creator, one of the best card shops in the nation. Everyone check them out. I'm walking by. You obviously have an incredible selection of cards here. I know you have an incredible personal collection.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to ask a little bit about your journey. I know you worked in 9 to 5 before making the shift to cards. Basically, how did you get here today? How are you able to have this business and all these incredible cards in your collection?
Well, it took a lot of time. I've been doing this really every day since like 2006. So, some of the stuff early on for me was like value boxes. I'm really big into that, right? I feel like when the market shifts, a lot of dealers will reprice showcase stuff. We've kind of like written off the value boxes. So I feel like the value box stuff is normally the best opportunity to find deals. So every day for 19 years, like eventually it snowballs and compounds, and you're trying to flip 5 into 10 so many times. It's taken a lot of time. We've had some really good help. That helps, having a lot of good people by my side. But yeah, value boxes in terms of like the card aspect is really my focal point.
That's funny you say that. That's exactly what I'd tell people when they're starting out, especially if you're brand new to cards. Start in the value boxes. You have no idea how much value is there. The one thing I will ask you though, and something I even struggle with myself, how do you make that flip? Like let's say you start value boxing, you're up to $1,000 or something like that. How do you make that switch to, all right, now we're dealing with bigger cards? Because even for me, I get a little nervous, like, oh, I'm having success with the value boxing, but you can't value box like necessarily all the way up.
Yeah, I mean, there's, a time and a place for calculated risk.
Yep.
Again, a lot of it, and we do this a lot more now. It's a little hard in the beginning when you're like, in the beginning I was so afraid to lose. I didn't want to lose, right? Because it was so important to me that like, I didn't have the flexible income to be able to lose, so I needed every dollar to make it. So I took less chances early on, but now it's a lot. If I could give myself advice early on, I would say take more chances, because a lot of it is there's not losses, there's just lessons. And I learned a lot about like what to buy, like where to sell, like jersey numbered cards. I love that kind of stuff. Like so many people are like, you either love it or you hate it. And in the beginning, I wasn't as big of a fan. Now I love it. So just learning along the way, and again, those calculated risks, like those are where you're gonna hit home runs or you're gonna learn a lesson. And so I'm real big on that, because like you said, you can value box and that's a lot of fun, but eventually you've got to be able to buy bigger stuff to make bigger flips.
Yeah, no, that definitely helped me. I try to remind myself that, like, I'm still kind of transitioning. I don't own a card shop or anything. I get afraid of taking losses because I kind of need the capital to keep it moving. So that's helpful. The last question I'll ask you, I know you've shared, like you had some Patrick Mahomes and stuff, some cards you've kind of let go of. What do you think is the most valuable card currently that you've ever owned, and what do you think it's worth today?
That's a really good question. I would have said at one point, I don't know what it's worth now, I sold the Luka NT first off the line to 20.
Wow.
The day after I pulled it for like 16.5. Now I sold it with the Ben Simmons Exquisite. I did well on that. So I sold both of those in a deal. That was in like March of 2019. It was right before I opened my card shop. It sold the following December for $227,000. That was a big card. I would say right now, I sold a Patrick Mahomes cracked ice auto at the 2018 National in Cleveland. It was right before I was going to get married. I actually turned down an opportunity from Mike Kafka, who's a card collector. He's the current offensive coordinator for the Giants, and he was the QB coach for the Chiefs at the time. He was buying Mahomes stuff. And the story goes, I was selling it to pay for my wedding. He offered me field passes, meet and greet with Mahomes, and tickets to the Chiefs-Browns. Now, this is before Mahomes has ever started a single game.
But he knew, though.
But he knew. I knew. I was big into Mahomes. Okay. Big into Mahomes. And I had the cracked ice, and I was like, I would love to do this trade, but I was paying for our wedding. So I was like, I got to sell this card. I got to turn down this opportunity because I want to prove her, like, I can do this. So I sold it for $2,400. It ended up getting a PSA 10. Those cards right now, I don't know the exact value. I'm going to guess north of $75,000. And I sold it for $2,400 raw. So
wow, awesome. Well, hey man, I appreciate your time. That was awesome.